Breakfast with the Chamber. My name is Patricia Elise, and I'm the chair of our learning committee. Our job is to bring you qualified, great speakers straight to you to help you and your business really grow. And this is a passion of ours. If you are interested in getting involved with the chamber, I encourage you to please get in contact with me, get in contact with anyone on our board so that we can make sure we all grow together. This month, we're really excited. We have Kristoffer Doura with us, who's going to be really speaking about how to protect your business, especially in times that are unexpected. But before I go ahead and make that introduction, I'd like to give a few minutes to our chair, Dr. Lumana Joseph, who's going to be making some short announcements. Lumana?
Good morning, everyone. I'm here.
Hey.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Kristoffer, I can't wait to hear what you have to say to our members. I know we've been in touch for a while now, and you are a friend of mine, and you have great information to provide. So I look forward to hearing what you have to talk about tonight. I mean, this morning. I'm still sleepy, so sorry about that, guys. But anyway, we had many activities this month. I know Marie wanted to talk about them and also Patricia, but it's so much that I want to talk about them because I would have to send them a long list. To start with, the month of August is a recess for the chamber. Usually the board members don't get involved, but we try to partner with our members to see what they have. So we do partnership activities. So to start with, the first one is August 7th, the House of New Vision and Hope, which is Fredlin Cyril. They have a back to school drive and family free time night. It's gonna be from 6:30 to 10 p.m. This is a great opportunity to come mingle and give back to your country of Haiti so that the children from Cape Haitian can go to school and you can provide them some school supplies. The second one is our member, Heron Bolivar. He's gonna talk about financial and a retirement party he's having on August the 12th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. More information is on our website for the details. Also, the city of North Miami is having, I think they have 3 back to school drives, but I have information on 2. The first one is with the Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy. She's having her first back to school drive on Saturday, August 14th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Then we have Mayor Philippe Bieneme and Councilman Alex Desume for their back to school drive on Saturday, August 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the JCC Center. All this information will be on our website, and please check our weekly blast for more details. But don't forget our biggest annual award ceremony for the Young Haitian Professionals, the Yopos Top 20 Under 40. It's coming up on September 16, 2021. It's gonna be at a beautiful venue at Aventura Mall, so I cannot wait to see everyone. It's gonna be a beautiful event, especially after the pandemic. So we invite everyone to come and support us, and the sponsorship opportunities and tickets will go on sale very shortly. So thank you so much for this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for those announcements, and make sure to follow us on social media where we have the flyers posted for events coming up. Now, without further delay, so today we're here to really hear from Kristoffer Doura, who's going to be speaking about protect the business that you've built. As a business owner, you are vital to the ongoing success of the business you've worked hard to create. But life is full of what if moments. So today he's going to be speaking about how to get prepared for those what if moments. Kristoffer Doura is a financial representative. After a brief career playing professional football, he transitioned out of the game and dove headfirst into financial services as a financial representative. His areas of expertise include charitable planning, legacy planning, and business exit and succession planning. He's passionate about philanthropy, and he's an active member of Big Brother Big Sisters Miami, Boys and Girls Club Broward County, and Families First of Palm Beach County. Thank you so much, Kristoffer, for being with us today. And with that, you have the floor.
Good morning, bonjour, les gens. Merci beaucoup for your time this morning. It's an honor, it's a pleasure to be a part of HACOF. I think the organization is doing tremendous things today and in our very, future ahead of us. when we all get together as professionals, from our Haitian community, we want to give back. We want to support, be leaders, and really share value with each other. Because I think, education is key, and I really, am an advocate of learning and teaching others, and being able to connect on those types of values. When we all think about what we want in life, we don't have enough time to consider the options that were presented, but it's the good decisions that you make with your network, with your connections, your family, things that really motivate you, I believe, are really what allows us to be passionate. Today, I just want to share, I guess, a little bit of value for business owners. I feel this could be an amazing way to learn what you don't know. We don't all know everything, but we all have specialties and expertise in certain areas. And if I'm able to just, drop a nugget of information, this is really, the reason why I wanted to, have a moment this morning. But with that being said, thank you so much, team, for bringing me in and introducing me. What a wonderful way to start my morning. And, mamam babam yo sorti Haiti, babam c'est mon province, and you sorti Hansh. And he met my mother, which she's from Port-au-Prince. They left the country many, many years ago. And I was actually born in the States, in New York. So, we transitioned over to Florida, and most of my life, raised in Miami. So I'm local bred. And being 6'7" with an 85-inch wingspan, you would think like, wow, this guy has an opportunity to play sports. And really that was, the stepping stone for me to kind of allow, my abilities to, get into the pros. And then obviously that was what got me my education. I love what I do because I've become a specialist in business and financial services. Because I got a master's degree in business administration and leadership. And I feel that has really allowed me to move along my journey after facing serious trauma in the NFL. And, when I think about it, every day I'm blessed and I'm humble to say that I have the ability to wake up and breathe. And if I'm able to just change and touch one life at a time, I believe we're winning the day. So, today I just have a little bit of insight, and I want to be able to share a little bit of that stuff. And I'm going to share my screen just so you guys can kind of see a little bit more about some of the things that I think would be helpful to understand if you are a business owner, some of the key challenges that we all go through. Let me see here. I'm not great with tech, but we'll figure this out here. Can you guys see my screen pretty good? Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So, when I think about my story, I think about, well, this is me at, young Kristoffer, baby Kris, 10 pounds, 7 ounces when I was born. And I always say, well, I got to go back to my roots, because that's really what I always fall back on. And clearly, when I think about, where I'm at today, I always say I'm thankful. And when I had the ability to go into the NFL, it was an amazing journey for me. I played offensive tackle, and who would have thought I would have been blocking for a quarterback, and putting everything on the line and believing that I can do it and I can accomplish it. It's very similar. We're all professionals in some capacity, and we all have different areas of expertise. But during this transition in my life, I was a professional athlete. And I believe that this is really the area where I'm able to kind of allow this to build a foundation of what I'm doing today. I love the sport. If it wasn't because of my trauma, I would have still been active today. And I feel that the ability that I've learned, my work ethic and dedication, this is how I apply what I do today in the business world, because of the discipline and because of the focus. When I went to university, I completed my university and my master's in 5 years, and then I had two options: either go into the private sector or actually transition to the NFL. And I said I couldn't give that up. This is once in a lifetime shot. So when I did go to the league, I started with the Dolphins, and clearly 3 years into my pro career was when things turned for me, and I had very serious trauma. I dehydrated, and dehydration was what took me out. Luckily for me, I was rushed over to a hospital in Pittsburgh, and when I was diagnosed, they said it was pretty serious and more than just dehydration. It was actually a blood clot that actually was really kind of a life or death. When I decided to make sure to acknowledge that I wanted to make sure that I was going to get out of this hospital and not face having one leg and my leg amputated because of how bad the blood clot was, I decided to go under surgery and fix that situation. Come to find out, while I was in surgery, my heart failed and I died. And I always get a tingle in my spine when I know today that I'm able to share my testimony, that I got a second chance at life. And I wasn't prepared. I didn't know what was going to happen going into the pros. Who would have thought, as a business owner, you go through so many ups and downs, you face challenges, adversity, but you just never know. You never know what's next. What can potentially put you in that position to where you're not going to be able to perform the same way you were doing when you were at your best. And that's the transition. When I realized I got a second chance, I took advantage of my education and knew that I wanted to share. I wanted to share my testimony. Now, today, I really want to share more nuggets to be able to provide, food for thought for all the business owners who are listening, all the entrepreneurs, people who provide services and provide their expertise in the community, because I feel knowledge is key. So, with that transition, I'd like to talk to you today about you and your business. Really, when you think about the time you've invested a great deal of energy, money, and resources into your actual business. And for business owners such as yourself, it's more than just a business. It represents your life's work. Now, when you think about as a business owner, you have a lifestyle that's a lot different than the most. But what makes that lifestyle possible? It's your income. Well, let's face it, it's the foundation of the life that you've created. And also your business is the foundation of your income. So what would happen to your lifestyle if you became too sick or even injured to work? And before, you say, oh, you know what, that wouldn't happen to me. Well, that's the same thing that I saw when I was in the NFL. It wouldn't happen to me, but, clearly things actually took a different turn. We think we're all invincible, but in reality, we're all at risk. Just 1 in about 4 people, become disabled before they actually retire. And 1 in 5 working Americans, they've experienced a disability leave of absence during the past 10 years. So when you think the reason for disability is much different than what most people think. People think it won't happen to them, but I'm not a risk taker. That's not ever going to happen to me. When you think about, the situation I'm in, if I'm at the office or if I'm not really commuting to other locations. But when you think about the bigger picture, most of the disabilities or sicknesses happen because of illnesses, which make up about 90% of disabilities, heart attacks, strokes, cancers that can happen really to any of us. Now, in fact, when you think about some of the consequences that lead up to a disability or an impairment, it's the leading cause for personal bankruptcy in the United States. So, as a financial representative to business owners, this is really where we start. If you think about your situation today, if you became sick or if you became injured and you weren't able to work, some of the things that you'd want to consider, how would that really impact my lifestyle? The money that I bring in to be able to pay my bills, and how would I be able to continue paying my bills and have a game plan? What about long-term planning, retirement? Would I be able to be in the best position to retire comfortably? If I do have children, would I be able to still provide them the education that put me in the best situation myself? And can I give that and pay that forward to my children? And some of the challenges when we think about those impacts is, well, outside of yourself, what about if your business was affected? Would your business be able to continue its ongoing services to your customers, your clients? How would you actually manage the business's day-to-day expenses? And some of those things are things that business owners fear. Now, if we were to look at some of the tools that I'd just like to describe today that can, protect business owners' income and their overhead expenses, and really also factoring in how to protect those business loans that provide you the ability to expand and grow. We'll start with the simple benefit when we're talking about your personal cash flow, a personal income benefit that protects what you make. And clearly, that's kind of key when you think about what we're talking about is making sure that the cash flow does not stop. Now, outside of your personal cash flow, you want to think about your overhead. Some of the strategies that can provide your business with the ability to stay healthy. If you're not able to be present, but you want to make sure that you're able to pay your expenses and continue to allow the business to keep running. Now, some of our clients also think about insuring their loans against a disability with our business loan writers. Now, when you think about the vision of where you'd like to go into a succession plan, thinking about some of the key things, if you have partnerships, if you have a scenario where something happens, you want to make sure that you're able to discuss disability buyout strategies to ensure an orderly transfer of ownership if one person, becomes disabled. A lot of business owners, you may, have already group disability plans through your business. And when you think about those types of plans, they only really provide the basic level of protection. And when you think about what that actually replaces, it's about 50 to 60% of your salary. So often this amount does not include all types of income that you may receive. Now here's the thing: most of these overall basic plans, they're capped at an amount. So typically up to 5 to 10,000 may be what you can receive, but clearly that may be far less than 60% of your income when you're an entrepreneur. So when we think about, being able to bridge the paycheck gap, now I have here just a little bit of an illustration just to share and give you guys a visual as to, how do we really approach, being able to, cover above the cap and look at ways that, once you have a claim and God forbid something happens, you're not able to work and you do start receiving your benefits, that could be taxed. So when you think about the 60%, it actually can deplete to, less than 60% of what you're really making and bringing in to take care of your bills. And, for most people who are highly compensated, that may not provide the lifestyle to your spouse and your children the same way as if you've never had to face a challenge. And looking at ways to continue contributing to your retirement plans, that may be a challenge if you're in a situation where you're not able to continue receiving the same type of income. So you want to make sure that you're able to cover yourself with a premium income protection strategy to put you in the best position to have peace of mind, knowing that life isn't going to change and you still have money rolling in, paying your income, taking care of your businesses, and making sure that things are not going to be a headache for you and worse. So why do we look individually to own, income protection, disability coverage, whether or not someone has group coverage? Most of the time, when you think about high income earners, group coverage alone is insufficient. And we want to make sure that the difference is your business owns the group coverage. And clearly, being capped, you want to be able to put yourself in a position to have more control of how your income benefit will pay you out. So we want to get you as close as possible to 100% income replacement as possible. And some of the key things when you're building a strategy is making sure that you're able to take care of your groceries, your utilities, your housing expenses, some of the things you can't, shy away from and skip out on. It's not the same as if you were, deciding to go to a restaurant or a movie theater. It's really making sure that you have your bases covered. Now, some of the benefits when you have an individual strategy that's going to provide you income, you can customize it. You can really modify, how it pays you a benefit and making sure that you're utilizing after-tax dollars. So you now receive tax-free cash flow. So when we think about, well, how do these actual strategies work? Some of the factors to consider is how you're designing your policy. The right, for your particular situation to make the best choices. It's important to understand the options, when we're weighing value and cost, how you really want your policy to perform and considering some of these things. Well, how much money am I going to be able to actually get per month if there is a situation that I'm not ready for? How soon will I be able to receive tax-free income? And how long will it last? Would inflation be something to consider, being, the time value of money and how things are with the economy today? And will my policy continue to keep growing as my income increases? These are some of the key things people think about and fear. Well, if I have a great lifestyle and I take any risks, I don't want to put myself in a position to lose my livelihood. Now, this is actually a quote from one of our clients, a very successful business owner who bought actually an income plan years ago, and he's in about his late 50s now. And financially, you would think that he's ready to retire, but he didn't feel that way. And when we actually got together, we sat down and had a beer and some food, and he was describing that if he would have known that he would have had a check coming in for $15,000 a month. Well, a percentage of that was paying his cash flow personally, and the $10,000 was paying for his actual overhead expenses. He really was able to focus on fighting cancer and not quit his business and have to lose everything he's worked so hard to accomplish. He was still able to maintain his business because he knew that we were able to, step up and deliver and make sure that he was able to still continue his lifestyle and without any changes and just focus on becoming healthy. Now, describing the next overall type of strategy for your business. Well, your business is the economic engine, for you and your family. And if you or a partner became disabled, you want to make sure you can mitigate the negative impact as much as possible. Now, overhead expense insurance is designed to keep your business healthy, when you're not. And, paying expenses like your employee salaries, your rent, your utilities, an overhead, policy can buy you time. It buy you time to get better and return to a business that still has its employees and its customers, if your health dictates, that is. Now, you realize the value of your business through an orderly sale, avoiding a fire sale. And many business owners face problems meeting loan obligations when they become sick or injured too. Now, the bank doesn't say, well, don't worry about it. Pay us back, when you feel better. So the overhead expense also provides the ability to cover your business loans. And whether they're for equipment, expanding your business, or even a guaranteed, salary contract, the business loan protection option, it's going to help ensure your loans are paid on time if you do become disabled. Now, the next, is disability buyout protection. Whether you're a sole proprietor or a partner in a business, disability raises important concerns to both you and the other parties involved. Now, how am I going to get all my money from the business if the partner is facing a disability? Some of the things you want to factor in is, can a disabled owner recover their investment if needed? Could we look at ways that business owners don't want to face imagining this situation and about allowing others to run the business using that investment? Now, the remaining owners or even the employees will want to ensure continued operations. Now, they'll also want to avoid conflicting interests from a disabled owner's spouse or the children. Now, this is why it's important, that you have a business continuation plan should you or a partner become disabled. Now, this is known as a buy-sell agreement. Now, a disability buyout provides the funding to make that agreement possible. Now, I just want to describe just a simple case study that I think would be very helpful just to give some more clear perspective. And this is something that I feel would just kind of give a little bit more of an analogy just in real time. As you can see, we have Bill and Sam, two equal non-related owners. One's 50, the other one's 45. The fair market of their business is valued about $2 million. Now, Bill and Sam are the active key employees. Bill and Sam are married with children, so the families are not involved in the actual business. But they started about 10 years ago, and they've created a pass-through entity, so their marginal tax bracket is about 40%. Now, they're actually taking in about 10% of the profits margin on sales. Now, let's now apply some of our concepts that we're describing today. Now, this probably could resonate. This sounds a little bit more like yourself. Now, in this situation, what if, Bill passes away and there's an unforeseen, death of a business owner that can cause numerous problems for the family and the business? Now, just considering some of the things that you'd want to consider, well, if something happens to Bill, well, now the new equity relationship between Sam and the spouse. So when you think about, well, who's making decisions now? My partner and my spouse that has no idea what the business is about. Now they also have the ability to make operational decisions. Now that may not pass so easily with certain business owners. And also the impact on the employees, lenders, and your suppliers. So these are some of the key concerns to consider just to make sure that you can protect your interests. Now, based upon the business, if it's not going to be given to a family member, we always recommend a buy-sell contract. Now, buy-sell contracts can be set up in one of the two ways. First, an entity arrangement that's also called a redemption. Now, this is where a business agrees to purchase the seller's interest. Now, the other way is a cross purchase where each owner agrees to purchase the other's interest. Now, basically, both arrangements accomplish the same thing. Now, in a cross purchase arrangement, the buyer can realize an adjustment to the cost basis upon a purchase. Now, the adjustment may be lost in an entity arrangement. Now, we want to make sure that we review the trigger points in a buy-sell. Now, I've listed a few and a number of them for just a discussion, but when you think about the concern with a disability buyout, some business owners or their counsel will define disability based on the definition used by Social Security. Now, that standard is way too harsh. We want to make sure that the one that we're using is by insurance companies or a definition that makes sense to business owners. For example, if an owner is disabled and he or she can no longer perform the majority of his or her responsibilities. Now, as determined by the board or the company, for a period of 10 months and any 12-month period. Well, the waiting period, it shouldn't be too long or too short. In this day and age, medicine and individuals can fully recover from many illnesses or injuries. Now, some of the overall solutions that we want to consider is you want to make sure you're prepared for the situation at hand. Where are we going to find the money to be able to replenish the partner who's no longer there, and to be able to put ourselves in a position to be able to cash out the spouse, or to put ourselves in a situation where we have to figure out where to find the money? Now, clearly, most likely the surviving business owner doesn't have that much cash sitting around in a bank. So, some of the options are to borrow from a lender, or if the contract permits, pay the purchase price over an installment agreement. Now, getting a loan from a bank may be a little difficult or impossible at this point, especially after one owner has passed away. So Sam, as a surviving owner, will really usually rely on the installment obligation provision in the buy-sell contract. Now, where will Sam get the money to make the payment? Well, the gradual answers will most likely from the company. Well, keep in mind that his business may have suffered a significant loss because of a death of one of the co-owners. Now, because of the concerns we've discussed, we recommend that life insurance be purchased to buy and fund a buy-sell agreement. Now, life insurance death proceeds are paid income tax-free, and that can be used to make the payment. So the buyer is not burdened with an installment obligation. Where are we going to find the money? Well, the seller is also protected because the payment can be in cash or in one lump sum. Now, another benefit of cash value life insurance is that it can be used to help fund a lifetime buyout. Really similar to any type of sinking fund, except it accumulates within the parameters of the insurance policy. Now, the real concern for the seller and the buyer is really cash flow. How can the survivor generate enough profit to make the payments? Now, granted, one big savings the buyer has is a salary that was earned over the deceased owner. Now, even with a potential salary and savings, can the survivor generate enough sales to pay for that installment obligation? And that's the fear. That's the fear. Where are we going to find the money to be able to buy out our spouse of the deceased partner? Where do we find that money? Now, the buy-sell review is really where we want to make sure that we all understand as business owners that we should make sure to review their buy-sell agreements on a regular basis, every 3 to 5 years. Now, some things for you to think about. The first is to make sure you have a non-compete clause and privacy clause in those agreements. Now, imagine you bought out your partner and they opened up a new shop or new firm in your neighborhood and contacted all your existing clients. Now, the second point is, what if the shareholders or the owner leaves the company? He should have the option to purchase the life insurance the other party owns on their life. Now, most individuals are not comfortable with someone else owning life insurance on their life unless it's designed to fund a specific obligation. Now, another type of coverage to consider is key employee coverage. Now, we want to make sure that, key person life insurance is more common than a disability income strategy. But a key employee is far more likely to become disabled during working years than die. Now, the impact on the business may be the same. Now, you typically have, select employees that have unique abilities to provide above and beyond service. Now, these are the employees that if they were to become disabled, your business would see a negative impact on its ongoing services. Now, with key person coverage, if those select employees are unable to work due to a disability, a benefit is paid to the business to mitigate that loss. Now, you can use that benefit to hire a replacement or simply help cover the gaps caused by loss of such a valuable asset. Now, either way, the key person coverage is another excellent way to protect the business you've built. Now, what we can provide to our clients, our business owners who are considering learning about what they have in place, we provide a business valuation program where we're very confident to make sure to review your current buy-sell agreements, your business operating agreement that accurately reflects your situation in real time. Now, some of the things that we can provide to our business owner clients is a complimentary buy-sell review. And also make sure, business operating agreements are reviewed as well to make sure you're up to snuff with real-time information. Looking at ways to strengthen the language, provisions in the agreement. We'll uncover weaknesses in the agreement, blind spots. Make sure that you have ideas to discuss with your local counsel. Now, we'll also list some triggering events that aren't covered and why they should be considered. What we do for our customers and our clients is free of charge. And at no cost, for our clients, we're able to put you in the best position and have a detailed report, 20 to 30 pages of a comprehensive report. Now, normally, if you try to get a report for a buy-sell or evaluation, it costs about $10,000 to $15,000 if you ask for a third party to take care of this for you. And we want to make sure that we are able to really distinguish the provisions, look for the weaknesses, and the concepts to discuss based off the triggering events that aren't even covered. And those are things that are key. Now, when we think about our business owners, there's a few different life cycles that are defined: startup, growth, maturity, transfer, or exit. The big picture is that looking ahead, is the ability to being able to leave a legacy. Why are we doing this? What's the nature of why we're working so hard? We want to make sure that we have a game plan in place, but we're protected now. Not what if something happened, oh, we forgot to get it done. We didn't have enough time to consider our business and to protect our asset. To put ourselves in a position to leave a legacy for our children. To put ourselves in a position to really make sure that we can slash the T's and dot the I's, but make sure that we plan proactively. Now, some of the things in evaluation. How do I know what my business is worth? How do I even consider in real time, what's going to put me in the position to know where am I at? We actually have a few different scenarios where we can run information based off of the nature of your business and the history. We can also look at the economic outlook, the book value, the earnings capacity, the goodwill that you have in the community, even a recent sale of an interest in the business, the current market price. These are things that will be able to build a valuation for your businesses, but put you in the best position to have at least a marketable business that what it's worth today. If there is at some point a reason to sell or a reason to transfer, you'll know exactly what it's worth. So now that puts you at the forefront to consider your retirement planning as well as your exit strategies, leaving your legacy. Now, what do you actually need for a valuation? It's just really simple. It's a fact finder and tax returns. That puts you in the best position to at least put yourself at strength to be able to know the valuation of the business. And our team can produce an informal business valuation complimentary. It's a service that we'll provide you. Now, free of charge, working with us, your accountant can help gather the info needed if need be. And I can email these things actually over to you if you want to look at the fact finder just to understand more or less how these things are put together. A fact finder and tax returns, and we can generate a business valuation for your business so you have the best ability to understand what you have in your selling power. Now, when we actually run the valuation, we provide a detailed understanding of the business value in real time based off of our report. And we'll provide this comprehensive, 29 to 35 page report, just so you know the ins and outs exactly of where your position stands today in real time. Now, the next steps would be, now you learn a little bit more about how to protect your income, yourselves, your overhead, your business, your employees, your rent, but also make sure that your employees are protected and they can look forward to a prosperous, long future with you. Now, if you have partners, talk to them now and make sure that you guys have a continuation plan in place and the means to funding it. Now, these are some of the things that I felt were important just to share with our Haitian community and to educate. You don't know what you don't know, but clearly when we have resources to help each other, to be able to put ourselves in positions of strength, this is the nature of why I felt very happy to have the privilege to join you this morning and be someone that you can reach out to, connect through Hakof, learn more about how to protect yourselves, and your most important asset is you and your businesses, your livelihoods. Now, if you'd like to reach out to talk further about this, you can send me an email or contact me directly. My information is here, and I'll be very happy to just share some insight, get to know you, learn a little bit more about areas that we can strengthen to complement your overall business and yourselves. Thank you so much, for the ability of allowing me to share today. I'm honored that I had the chance and just the opportunity to present today in front of Hakof members, and I really look forward to being of service. Nous parlons même langue, so si nous avons une question, nous mettons par la même les moins. Là pour nous, là pour communauté, and I just want to make sure that we're all educated on how to really protect our legacies. So thank you so much this morning again, and I look forward to seeing people more in person, when I can. Hope everyone's healthy, doing well, their families are protected and safe. And thank you so much for the ability to present this morning.
That was great. Thank you. That was a lot of really good information. I hope you guys all took some notes. This is the point where we open it up just for a few minutes if anyone has any questions. Kris, do you want to go ahead and share your contact information in the chat?
Yes, that's what I'm actually typing up now. Just if people would like to touch base, I can share my information. Absolutely. Thank you for acknowledging that, Patricia.
So is there one kind of business you tend to work with more than others? For example, do you work with solo practitioners, bigger businesses, lawyers, doctors, dentists? What kind of businesses do you tend to work with?
All of the above. There's not a business that we cannot protect and have a conversation around, protecting your affairs. If you have a tax return and you have an entity, we can have a conversation with you and really do some planning and talk about ways to protect you against all those contingencies. So small business owners, startups, mature companies, people who are getting prepared to go into retirement, who really want to leave a legacy for their loved ones. So we can have those conversations at every life of the business. And I think that's really a question where it's really being proactive. It's really taking the step forward to consider the facts of the what ifs. We never know. When I got hurt in the NFL, I didn't know that I was not going to be playing anymore. I thought I had a 10-year career. But obviously, when you think about that, I got hit with that curveball. And thankfully I had my education to fall back on, because now I'm able to at least provide information because of my knowledge. And if I would have known, you never know what you don't know. So to answer your question, all types of professionals, whether they're attorneys, they're doctors, they're engineers, they actually are a W-2 employee where they also want to consider something outside of their group benefits. They can actually consider ways to protect their income. That's, a portable strategy. It doesn't have to tie only into the corporation. So you put yourself at ease knowing that your defense is secure while you're making money in your offense. And that's really the key. You want to have a game plan to put yourself in the position to have that foundation. Your defense is protecting the what ifs, but the offense is going out there and making it rain. So I think those two together will make sure that you can create generational wealth.
I have a question as well. In terms of the business valuations, what if this is like a startup business less than 3 years? Do you reassess? Because once you start a policy, it's based on the fair market value at the time of the evaluation. So if it's a growing business and you have not had, great profitability because it's the beginning years of your business, at what point would your company reassess, or do we request it as a business owner? If you could just kind of give your feedback on that.
Yeah, absolutely, Maria. I could absolutely give feedback. So, when working with us, we would make sure to have reviews every year to help you grow and to strategically have the best strategy for your growth and protection strategy. Clearly, it makes a lot more sense when you have at least some type of, history, some type of proven track record, because it makes it a lot more easier to position yourself, to know where you're going with your business. Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't have any track record yet, you can't start the conversation, because going back to, you don't know what you don't know. So essentially you can make better decisions for your company, attract new investors, because now you know what you're working with and working towards. So even if you're at a startup stage and you're not in the position to run evaluations and know where you're going to be over the journey, to know what is the value to sell it to somebody, or to know where you're at, to prepare. You want to have those conversations early, simply because of the fact you want to know exactly how to protect and how to build and how to grow. And the best way to do that is to have your defenses ready. Businesses can skyrocket, from 0 to 100 real quick. But you want to make sure that you understand that there could be situations that if you would have known what you didn't know, now that you do know it, you can now present yourself a lot better to investment.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, feel free to connect with me as well on LinkedIn. I just added the actual link in the chat. You can click on it, and obviously as well share with everyone to connect with me on those social media platforms. I think that'll be very important, just so people can understand and just really connect. I think, over time you build relationships, and that's really what's key. The timing may not be right today, but obviously if we connect, you can follow the information that I post, that I share. I always want to make sure I'm feeding everyone's appetite when it comes to the know and how to approach your business, your retirement strategies, your succession planning, your legacy. Because again, when the timing permits, you'll remember we had this conversation on Zoom and Hakoff. And I think that's really what's important, is at least you not have a resource in the community. And I've, included my telephone, my email, as well as my LinkedIn link to click on and just, become friends with me. And, we can start a relationship, even if it's over a Zoom coffee.
I have a question. I may have missed it, but which company are you with, or which products of which company are you representing?
Absolutely. So I represent NPC Financial. We're a 70-year-old business in the Tri-County. Our parent company is The Guardian.
And do you represent all products or just specific products of those companies?
I represent all products. We're not captive to just, Guardian. Guardian has the strongest language in some of these strategies, but it's not a fit for everyone. And I think obviously I'm not captive to just only working with my parent. And I think that's also what puts everything at ease, knowing that I'm going to work hard for you and get options. And I think that's really the conversation to really make sure that people are at ease, thinking that, well, if it doesn't happen with A, we can find B, C, or D, and provide multiple options.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Does anyone have any other questions or any announcements that they'd like to make? No? So thank you, Kris, for a great presentation. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Again, we encourage everyone to get in contact with Kris directly through his LinkedIn account. And if you have any questions or suggestions for us as a chamber, please make sure to reach out to me, to Marie Latin, or to our chairwoman, Dr. Lamana Joseph. And as a reminder, we will be taking a break for the month of August. So we will resume our monthly breakfast with the chambers, which happens on the last Friday of every month in September. So you guys enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Merci beaucoup.
you.
And have
Bye-bye.
a great day.
Merci, Kris.